Kia ora and welcome to some of my June explorations, and this month's focus paper is the No Worries from Close to My Heart. And so I have purchased the No Worries scrapbooking kit, and I'll be using this mainly today with this layout where I'm using the negative image from a Cricut cut. The first slide showed my snap mat image that I used, and then the card that I had cut, the words from my Artistry cartridge, play ukulele, using the Cricut. And so I've just been playing with some of the papers that I'm going to put behind this page. There's a few different ones that worked really nicely with it. I chose the ukulele because it's kind of got an island feel, a little bit like this paper range has. I've been going along to classes this year learning how to play the ukulele, and it's been a lot of fun. And so another little bit of playtime I've been doing is using an Instax camera, and the 3 photos that I'm using with this layout are from this camera that I purchased off someone selling theirs at a scrapbook camp recently. It's been lots of fun experimenting with it and working out how to use it. So using this workshop's Your Way No Worries scrapbooking kit, got some sticker collection choices, there's a few die cut choices with it, there's some ribbons, and there's also some sequins. And later on I'll bring in some journaling stamps, etc. from a few other kits, and from some different stamp of the month collections that we've had for a while, but I'll show you that process a bit later on. So here I am just having a play with things from the compliments pack, that's the stickers and the die cuts, trying to work out what might work and what I can use on this page to bring out some of the components of it. So I'm cutting around the stickers, and that means I'm cutting out the backing as well, so you can place them without sticking it down to see how it's going to look in the final product. Being a ukulele, being an island, often called or based on an island image, I'm just going to use the palm trees and things just to give it that little bit of an island feel. It's also a chance to just get away and relax and chill out, although my kids wouldn't think it's a very chill out kind of instrument. I've been practicing it in the lounge, and it does get on their nerves a little bit, I imagine. So I've played with the bluey coloured stickers, and I pulled them out because one of the photos has got my new journaling Bible in it, and it's a bright bluey colour that fits nicely with the blues in the tree and the leaves that I've got up there. And so I'm going to trim off the zip strip down the bottom. I'm actually going to use that on the page, so I'm going to stick that on the top of the cardstock down the bottom just to give a little bit of definition, and later on you'll see that I added another way of framing to add a bit more because it felt like there was a lot of white. I could have done a few things to the cardstock. I could have inked it, stamped it, painted it, or I could have even used a coloured piece with this cut. And so I'm going to just play with this paper, and I'm trimming off the bottom piece. I'm making it the right size to fit behind because I can use this sort of woven grassy type paper for other pages, the strip down the bottom. I don't need to use the whole piece of paper. So sticking it behind there, it makes the words sort of pop out. Using words on the Cricut cartridge and things like this are really good for both adding a title but also making it part of a feature of the page, which is quite fun. And it's quite fun using the Cricut app on my phone to create these cuts and these cut files, and using Snap Mat to see what they'll look like. So I'm using here my Tombow adhesive, and I'm aware that I could just stick it right around the edge of the cardstock, but actually I want it to be able to stick down around most of the letters, so I need to make sure that there is a little bit around the letters so that it's going to sit nice and close, so that if it's in the page protector and flapping open, you're not seeing all these big gaps as the pages sort of flap around a bit. So getting this all stuck down, oops, there's a nice shot of my hair, never mind, didn't see too many grey bits. So pressing down the paper on the back, and you can see here that it has adhered quite nicely along with those stickers and the bits and pieces that I've stuck down the bottom. And so I'm going to use some foam tape here to rise up some of these die cuts that came in the compliments pack, just to lift them off the page a little bit. Gives it a little bit more lift. The photos themselves, because they are Instax printed photos, are a little bit thicker, and so they do have a little bit of depth too if you're looking at them nice and close. So I'm just sort of feeling that there's space up there for journaling, sort of either side. It feels like there needs something else in those spots. Not that it has to have every space filled up, because I quite like having white space on a final piece. It adds a design element. But I'm going to add some stamps, some journaling stamps that I have from, I think it's actually from the last seasonal expression, so they're no longer available. But getting a stamp set means that you have it, that you can use it again and again. It's not set to just that paper range or just that piece for that particular paper or that particular kit. There's lots of uses for them later on, whether it be cards, whether it be further layouts, but things like journaling ones are always worth getting a hold of, because they just add an extra feature. They're practical, but yet they can embellish and add to it. So here I have used the stamp set from that I mainly used last month with a little dreamer set, and I've used the die cut that came with that, and I'm stamping about Find Your Rainbow. There's something about playing an instrument and learning something new and giving something a go that's a little bit like finding a rainbow. And a key song that I guess when I think of ukulele, I think of the song Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and that's it's a song that's fits, and therefore this cloud with Find Your Rainbow fits really nicely with the whole concept around ukulele. And I decided to put it in here leaning into the P, because Ps often have a little bit there, and it just seemed to fit quite nicely without taking over too much of that white space. So adding in the journaling in that wee journaling box, and then sort of looking at the page, it felt like it needed something more. I'm just sort of looking at it thinking, okay, there's just a whole lot of white here and something's going on. So how about, I'm just wondering whether maybe adding a frame. So to start with, I thought I would just use my journaling pen, and then I thought, actually, I'm going to get the shin hand markers out, and I used a black to do a nice line around the edge. A rough casual line. It wasn't about being neat and perfect. And then I decided to do a second line, and I made the choice to colour in the gaps. And so as I was going to do the inside the gaps black, so it was sort of a line that was black thick in places and not in others, but I decided to bring in the blue colour that was also used in the page. So I grabbed 3 of the bluey greeny coloured shin hand markers just to make a bit of a comparison with the stickers I'd used as to what worked, and just by drawing them on my mat I was able to see clearly that the initial one I thought of was the right choice in the first place. So I just coloured in all the little gaps all the way around where there were gaps between the black lines. And just by turning it on the side, it gave me a little bit of an easier access to the whole thing. It's been great getting back into making some pages and things today. I've been super busy with my teaching job lately. There's been lots to do with that, and I've really felt I've needed to get back into making something creative. So thanks for watching.